one we are the ultimate, the person, the celebrant, you know, the main celebrant, and one day will be able to get an especially. Busu arena no yana no wani beba won so yete na ho nyina ya blast baby obia team obia once we have established say culture and as a memory idea esesa over the period no yen twem ni yen hu yi na yen sesa kwan a ye fa so a itu you know omo fire to the atmosphere any idea.
Hello, Ebusiafo, Memo Akwaba. This is the channel Explore with Pascal, and today I have a special guest once again. OG was once a journalist in Ghana, and for now, Kroguso participate. Yeah, while witnesses so many cultural events, Akasian and Ketua, and then largely has to do with some recent happenings at SC. Yeah, because of that, our own man, Yenya Kofi Adomah wawani okushia nkwenshia ewo Adomah hinkru. There has been several conversations around the incidents that happened, and quite recently before also crazy one crime ho baby nungua. Yeah, it rings some bell. Now the conversation we're going to have today largely focus on behind the scenes story. I mean, there are certain things we are not paying attention to as people, and I think the best way to discuss it is to have somebody who has an in-depth knowledge about what's happening. Nyoma ekoso over the years. Yeah, and so stick and stay. The channel once again is Explore with Pascal. Kindly comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Yeah, leave a comment if you also feel like you disagree with the kind of discussions you're having. And now I said, just drop it. Let's disagree to agree. If you also love what we're doing, comment. Baby, I'll show you free. And I think together we can make this world that better place we are all looking for. Oji,
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's good to have you once again.
Thank you.
Okay, so before say Komudi Aseno, I want us to take a look at the following video. The video you just watched, an incident which happened. Adomah hinkru. Oji, have you seen the video? Me sure say video. No, what chance you on there because you are always on social media. And see, me sure say you've seen it. Then comedians so ababechri. Mami you initial comment.
All right. Okay. Thank you. In Samson Chiati for you. All the time you have time to listen to us and not that say be kasadi pe and say assembly by Bekabi, but in the interest of the nation and Abia Chinebi na abayeme and asako busu anibi. And in the second place, and so yema yenuya Kofi Adomah shedding because asamna atono because a time ago we all know Kofi Adomah to be one of the astute journalists in the country, and Ghana they open or more or my developmental stories or more ever travel beyond reasonable miles. I could cover stories. I'm a for enyamwa stories. I did mwabre nkofo baby I will be going to me stories who say abnormal stories. And Kofi Adomah will just go beyond all reasonable. Kind of say doubt now akwa cover story no e aba nti aba see na said the nani ba are affected. I don't know whether the two eyes are affected. Your bumper is in a memoir na regaining the sight. No nya ho de no go back to na dwuma and one home pipe and a man. Yes, said the Odin can. I've cited the video, my home video, and said and it was very unfortunate. And idea as a tata hon kakra but such incidents no be between us ama edo how about video no busa me ho pa.
Okay. Thank you. Hard dream and said your kind no. Yampai Bonnie said that me be na dom because Kofi is just an amazing personality. Mame enye wadwen kire won your ma we ho. For me, amamre any amane ye ntoto na se. I fully agree with nananom anamutu mutu to preserve our culture and san your money na but senen komudie na me no ba bedie ne ye enkomo beyond the videos we are looking at and it has to do with amamre ne amane over the years. It's very beautiful to always have a preservation of ya mamre ne amane and nananom nim die mu no enuomo mu ye bi ha no ese na fata se wo mu ye but mami musa will say have you had the opportunity when ya kwanya bi akwa fashe bi ase baby nananom display ne sa neoma ne kanetete akode ne weapons ya ne display bi ne tuo ye koto ye ne ade Mami Musa will say, when you're kwenya ko afashe bi asesa ahwe ehunu se de ana enioma na nhehye koso ewo ho.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was working with DSFM in the Kwai, I had a chance in covering such stories into do such times now. Sometimes o na besuma koneko cover story efabra and you would have to navigate through the program, the thick, you can't say people, no navigate it, then you capture all these stories. Many ako cover stories about chieftaincy and how our rich culture is and a whole lot. And also being in the media, no, there have been several instances issues of chieftaincy issues and also issues of chieftaincy about in table, so we have had several chances to make discussions about some of these things. So, yeah, I have an in-depth idea about the whole thing.
Okay, brilliant. Anyway, Musa will say on that day, oko grounds as media man, moko cover no. Oko as media personality now cover. And in you have the chance to learn for yourself and then report for your viewers. Atmosphere and net saying the intensity and everything. How is it like?
Yeah, atmosphere are very tense. And in Kofi's case, and I say in the case will be camera issues, and also cross a different thing altogether because what you and a announcement to the people. Said those people will not have access to the event and that you are going to cover the event and then bring them up to speed, all things that will happen at the event. Into depana or no film or no what can't you say pink crowd from Crampona over Manati. Into baby beer, semi basic beer, and I say development be basic beer, and you have to cover it and then let listeners our movie. Muti or more show online and Nasufuna was so who say, okay, this is what actually is happening. In Tiana atmosphere is very intense, but you also do that with caution. But sometimes you can be so cautious that say why cautious, but accidents and so a bit may happen in the case of Kofi who's accidentally he was covering a story on one of the sub chiefs discussion more telecast or TSS and for BT development BT or a different site in the or sorry or corner cover a honor the kukushia side event in the atmosphere there and I very tense. And yeah, I know say I nipem bi or I no more apinti pintu money more na ya brafo. Aha, nti no ma pinti pintu money the kind of obi mu twetwe kind the kind of camboso na ebi mu tututu ko wiem na any ade no nti say we obi a the sound of you kind of say a gun kura no say na oyamsiwa even knockout kura to na say oyamsiwa you cannot be covering such a you should be very bold enough so betimi akọ events bi a etetase no danchen ya na security situation kura no at some of these events no very 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 tough say uni accreditation na we wa gwen say wo kwa akọ ni na mu ni ade a one here security no grab bit mama onim krampo gu asenti wo ba wo share wo listeners say oh me kwa cover story really abremo no at the end of the day one here be hu say when nya story no ko when nya access to the police na o report you outside and so basa one here no fan kwa na be report o momo abonten kwa but now when nya the main event now o kofa dia ba no when nti to get the full coverage of the main event no you need to pass through the intense atmosphere no the atmosphere no just do say na very tense pa.
Okay, thank you. And yet some kwa before say dwumadi ni be hyase no say invitation ni free na nanom hoba na mkwa is there some sort of orientations to journalists to cover the events, some security awareness and you maybe cranny be a alert as journalists say muhunu we ya saying it here just pay attention to it na say mo de mo kwa ya na coverage no and obviously that good journalist and as a journalist biano would love to get that untold story will be attention in this one. And I mean that makes you who you are. And no the man we say journalists now will company invest so much. It's a corner cover events. Unko tonight baby and take pictures. So mukwa in your quest to deliver the best for your audience, no. Ya na nkita ho die bi dika koso saa some sort of orientations been in your man you maybe cause answer no much adwuma na say and I say just let me know what happens before you start your operation.
Okay, so in the first place, before you leave your studios to the grounds, I say editor and the small. So in this case, the editor, the news editor, or not small. Into whatever orientation be in terms of security, whatever, will come from all editor na or small. Or no rental, say next year and events sometimes when they bring you the invitation to the kind of say station and answer to the media house now they add and maybe a cost anyway sometimes also you also go for program activities and as a mobile media encounter before the event until you have the opportunity to go there and also to listen. No be our editor no makwakutie enema say the bekoso ye because on the day of event and the also be any abre and obia or a role to play obia or a part to play it won yana nanom so mo ba afa no mo ba chechire ense mo achi say oba fa ha aha emura ha aha ye say ni ade yewura ha emfa ha emura ha aha ye baby a yemfa ni ade ni nyina no pre activities before the main event into the main event and the with the knowledge that you have about media reporting any the media law and ethics any all other media and as a journalistic style be a bit probably to get the story for that is all that you put together into putting it together now one kasa said also the conscience and so they at home now what the full coverage at the listeners you wouldn't have any excuse to tell us or listen and say when it comes that way let's just say you didn't go and serve your listener word and in order to serve or listener word you have to go all miles possible within your means, within your reach to get the necessary information and to get the necessary response from the grounds to our listeners. In the briefing there, you will be briefed at media station before you go, and sometimes you are also briefed by Nananom as part of our activities before the main event.
Okay, brilliant. Me busao, I ask you that because of some incidents. Yeah, na isisi na for any adwene say sometimes and you may be see ya na yemu yeni so ne no it me be a doors bi ema mpemfo adwene isi nneoma bi so na very recently there was an incident and yedi ohima bi isi so ewo nkran ewo baby and mepese yɛbɛhwɛ saa video no sema kakra na yɛatoa nkɔmmɔdie no so. Now, what I want us to do here, an incident in me, Kofi no, and my media we just watched. Now, there is some two things that are similar as in it you total. And what I'm making. Now, later on, I'm sure my many dear no crana me whom say there was a trio sound kane baako and sana later the other one it take in a life no. And the issue of Black Kofi so dear no, there was a tutu ane kokoko so, and so regardless of the beer which ne biya so to say trio to pewa and can say bibi koso because a mamreni a money and a koso. Now, the issue of a trio summoner, what have you got to say?
Okay, and you say culture is the way of life of a group of people in any given society. And I sound can say culture is dynamic. And you can say culture is dynamic. It means that culture can change over a period of time. And culture is static in the first place.
Yeah.
Say Yashimwa, on say Susanuano, na say yes, so Henny Biwa before so busy or Henry particular or more de account Eddie said the bear or Henna Qua, say any pana supposedly Trinity Edna Cowan or one awesome or Henno as to whether or not Nasa Semonona a yeno cray and I say we know another day not in but going forward no we have come to realize sa practice on any day any hobby there were some cultural practices na initially na yena nanomo ye enimri you know those cultural practices in the crown and sounds in day any hobby typically at first na yena nanom no mo ye ahemfo no you know na asori kra na bi wa he there wasn't any Christianity and na obi akra nkwa asori there but then you know wetime na obi kra wo ye sofo pa nkasa wo ye sofo but now wagia to say yes me be a Roman sofo me Methodist sofo me Pentecost sofo but Messiah wo hene esa wo me kruma obekọ na nanom nkonya so ayede akogu nsan de ama nananom ene ade so it tells you say ye nyini no na ye koye nim na society nyini ko nanim no culture will change and enema bi wo ho a e wo say yede yes no now back to 221 we can make reference to what went on in the Nungwa issue no so ye after Kofi Adomah asem no esi na eno so no enso mo ye installation bi e ho e na eno so bae now say ohwe Kofi Adomah de na there were multiple gunshots and I call so and unfortunately one of them no who was very close to Kofi Adomah paid the video na ye hunu no oto ye den kini say some of these gunshots no they are shot or fired into the atmosphere or into the air by enemy de by we the as straighten this ekohwe Kofi so this how we no e by now e wonu ngwa de mu so no so okay I said they would kan there was a first gunshot it's the first gunshot in the by no na amanfo bebri agina amaso because they thought say it is a normal thing ACA during these chieftaincy and then cultural events no etututu ere eto It's the first gunshot in the Bible. Nobody cared to do where the gunshot came from or who actually even fired the gun. Inti first one the Bible will be anke no, and sana second one the target as to whether or no target no, and as no target no. Unfortunately, according to the police report, I can't be there. There's only could do hospital no kwana se nipa no ayede wo free more. It is some of these things now or more I am of the view say we have come to witness some of these things. Even I remember, so I read a story from my Joy online. There was a cultural event or even mention it was and also it be affected among for. Then there may be several incidents of unreported issues of these gunshots also affecting of a cultural event. No. Going forward, I think say once we have established that culture is dynamic, once we have established say culture and as a memory idea over the period, you know, yɛnhwɛ no yɛnhunu yie na yɛnsesa kwan a yɛfa so a ɛtu yi no ɔmo fire into the atmosphere ɛne adeade ɛna even mpo sɛ ɔmo fire a ɛdeɛ bɛ ɛtu aboba bɛ ne hyɛ mu is it ordinary gunpowder anaasɛ just powder bi te sɛ knockout deɛ ne bi anaasɛ te sɛ deɛ ɛyɛ ana wohwɛ students ya na ọmụ ye moral groups ni adade bozo mukuta magazine for that you net da ọmụ kon no mato the thing and na so for no dey just wisie na beba na ebeko so nti I think say it was you taking it as a national security issue, not necessarily say cultural activities nti na say you obia no kuta tu and most of them no mukuta tu no let's ask ourselves say what training have they acquired from handling the gun? And even gun is it license? And I just say because say culture no air course no only two only them no akofa and also enya to abubi aguma or say no dey we dey enya live bullet and live bullet and say enya dey kum nipa ntino enya me tutu bi ana anhwe ya ne nipa bonifo bi ne ho aba abefem obi wo ha say bi wo pede nsem oni bi edidada ana wo pe na yi bi edidada enti and one we are the ultimate, the person, the celebrant, the main celebrant, one day will be a better targeting, especially what happened. Almost suspect or matching was saying, and me say who's a culture dynamic, that we can replace it with something. I don't know how nananum what can be replaced with it, but it was an anonymous transfer upon further reflection. No moon said there be idea we know I know I stand. Yan we na koye de toso enan a on we are we near the babana enyi nipa baako na bi asebiu na ni baako ana say we ekose because nipa de wo kan ye nyina na wani nti sebi Kofi any so one we gain biu na said ye na ya ne ade the last time we teen I cried literally in watching the video and as I was just say we are quite an open do this point and say I say why so provoked and why so say why so sad to the extent say oh say Kenyankopon Jimmy crack every me some crampo na me pa it means and tells you the extent of pain or endure nti mama we na nanom no yibuo mo amamre na efe e wo se preserve amamre se de nanom gya ho e de ato de aman but amamre no ade esesa over a period of time se de niema ko nanim no ne ya hwe ne niema bi nso wu mu a e de hawo e bebre nipa no ye hu kwan e be fa so e be modify no ene de betima replace no
now say me know ya dream now on the issue of set nanom kwekra na ye say sebio ye di nipeja kwan ne ade no it's something we did not yamami hunu and so we read from the books. If I'm right, some social studies teacher history I know okay I think that bond of 1844 signed here one of the agreements with the local chiefs was to abolish human sacrifice. So bibia di adanse say emre konenimu no with time no growth as synchronize with development with modern way of doing things. if you come from that angle, say, maybe a new man corner, maybe an anonymous should have a second look. It should be an issue. That's my opinion, which is in line with what you just said. Say, it should be an issue at Ebia. Nananum at the National House of Chiefs. Ebia, Omobe Rizi. Now, I might give you some sort of considerations. And then that is where the national security issues come in. But so being so the argument be basse, a culture, a mamre. This is what we are using to show the kind of supremacy. Wars are winning yet, any idea. And so we have to keep on upholding it. Chirima say, can I the coin? Yes, it's true. But to say to could be any hobium into Tuno Crana yet for said the Mokano, enka ye break and key. But will be so the argument, will be so start another argument. So if you say it must go on, but the point is, if you know more totono, ebia, uba kwa him few crana bia, na nanu tu no, a war with special labels. Yeah, they just don't fire any gun, and that it will be a better who be ano. Him say if we fear, and to BBC they can easily trace to know say, oh, one and you create you here to in this case, Kofi die koto no till now say nipa anamne so ema sankwenhyan e ba ye no nobody knows the whereabouts of nipa this is here. Nanso so no said the can be so be this argument never okay. I know the yenyai nanso so no we should find a way of identifying some of these guys, and for all you know ebia me no kase bia nim ne yenim ebia ho ahemfo no ene tua omuto ahemfie no kran a labeled already, and they know you training training people how to handle it near there. They have their leader who commands them to do it here and there. If somebody brings the argument, say a honor never say yes, nah, yemi ni more to get people trained properly about how to handle weapons near there. What would be your response to it?
Okay. It is some of these guns now. Yeah, can say a big guy established from the onset. Say culture is dynamic. Culture, over the period of time. So be argument and say, okay, you maintain it. And we have also realized as we keep on maintaining, it is also affecting a lot of people in diverse ways. It's much more mechanism. Psychologically or more money or more person who did that or more for that. And don't forget, there are some terrorist activities going on around us. You can say sub-region, and I say continent. You can say other countries are more neighboring countries, neighbors are more on coup activities, and some terrorist activities have been reported. And in Ghana, there were some threats of terrorism. Here bit me to the extent where I say time and here babe to abanimu there were threats of terrorism. Maybe moon say see here terrorists beat me without mind any adeno home chronoma. Inti a chair say you're careful now in the name of culture, in the name of amamreno. Unipa bonfo bi betima wa be frem na wa be course anyway now nananum so okay yin mo to etu no omo a omo na nipa so mesi o maintain ya hand ya prove say omo betima to omo na ya brafo a omo to say etu ni ade nyina. Now don't forget so say do such events now na event now is so tense and atmosphere is so charged say people, a lot of people are taken away about the excitement and the events, the incidents that are not a cosoro. Nti amanfo bebre na adwene kra nko who is approved person to be an obrafo, and I say one approved to be an obrafo to be able to do one movie. Nti obia betumi start obi okra na enye na adwene se okoto okukum, but he doesn't know how to handle it to ankasa. What is the nature nase?
Yeah.
You don't know Beyonce Kofi Adomah the see up to now. It's in another bit my country and say nipa na we yan cry every video. See who say nipa so messy way na gina ho ye in the video you can see somebody, but there has not been any arrest made so far. What is the nature nase? It means that Kofi Adomah sebi manusi simras nko wiya nko ukwa. because any young was any pan could tell side tune. As you say, a powder or 2 years to do say one or 2 years. Young who say, what should the amount of Bunipan? According to the panel narration, he said any back also I operation mark seven times and a wire operation. To the extent so I say the last 1 hour or person kokoye crown. Doctors now advising they say a cat in Tiniba could be a quacker cat not union. So Mokas or more yes, sir, operation now. One share asema de beba na bia na enye nti ko moma eno no ho for the meantime na we ni healy no mu hunu de be ye as to whether or not the healy say obenya ne biu say wonya ne biu and when you nso de say ni bon so kotrim e bit ma affect uti ama one way ya forever na ye mom pa say mbra but ubon say ene usi uti asokra enye ebi aso so otimi sin ti asokra na moja eba enti it means he's going through a lot of pain. And he said, Yanhwe here, she said, fire Kofi Adomah. It means he's inexperienced. So when you bra for penny, I will tell you, say, that person in question is inexperienced. When he experienced beer to handle the gun, it's a experience beer. At least we know, outside, because you say, they are fired into the atmosphere. By on say, Nipana, of course, is a problem. You money. Is in another man and now the center of all the narration and as a narratives are echoes in nan ubi abon another man the said you all bonnet in bonnet the all can some bonnet at the fan the all can some as can the normal circumstance no can an happen is could be intimate and some beside them fan and these days with social media until we are fan of phone sabi no akeke can no they are penny no corny baby any other what I maintain say we should find a way to replace that gunshot, no? Because we cannot say there is no art to find constructing the human face. It's a number of friendly and pay nipa na or no kuta to no or could timu adwene and nipa adwene to miss at any time bia to for you or the better from or the better view. One we are better on the sideways, one we are better on the left was or right one. One we are now targeting obi na kofa as for the area in order not to cause any trouble or further distractions going forward. Nananom at the National House of Chief level, they said they should come to a consensus. So we do sabre say you best say a 2 out of 2 I feel you replace the actual gun now yet with A or B. Yes, you better the I can't say the sound of the gun say a better, but it shouldn't be a rare gun a bit makofa problem at the abri but what the nature say yeah but say the way to say over 2 now at the end of the day to say nungwadi a nipa na oto yem police fortune na we obaka so we culture na na meto ye na gym nsem any ade okunya ko do police station ozi obaka say gym nsem accident na aba because there was a first shot ko bit maka say no na to ye what the major say just ordinary warning shot to be a oh amanfo be kura kuta na me dem meto ye na manhwe na be bo nipa no why kwana bra nipa na wo wie but ono na oto ni de ye wodi ni tumo ye de kura na nipa na wo wie enti going forward no ye amamre no in as much as we want to preserve and respect our culture no we should also find ways that your culture no should not be a problem to a third party. In this case, Kofi Adomah was trying to cover the beautiful culture of the people of Doma and then the Bono people to the world. He was trying to cover it to the world, and look at what it ended. At the end of the day, the beauty of the culture now, of course, all events, of course, have not been discussed. They have not been even NGTV as a result of Kofi Adomah. One man to also uncover. It means that the beauty of it, any in this case, culture now preserve and portray show to the world. Oh, this is the culture of the good people of Doma, or probably Ashanti even. This is the culture of the good people of Ashanti, or this is the culture of the good people of Ghana. At the end of the day, whichever culture be a person portray be at that event in the culture no ayra because the ababe and we know in news journalism you say bad news sell bad news
definitely
yes it sells and in as much as we want to preserve our culture and portray to the world that this is the beautiful culture of we people living in Ghana, our culture should not also bring some sort of distraction to people around us, because at the end of the day, we are the people whom the culture is being portrayed to, and we are the people who are also going to sell the culture to the world. And still, I maintain that there should be some discussion around the table at the National House of Chief level. Now, how to replace some of these shootings, because yeah,
anim na mmoa me no ya adwen nananom nimdie mu no nananom yentuo mu fo yeah, it is believed say sabi nimdie ne nyansa wo se omudibu wo mu mai de nyame de adom wo mu. So sometimes when these issues come up dear as nananom ma yeah omudie ni die metumi no de also wo mu ye ne ye na nananom ani twa so a anase bi kra no omunim die mu kra no make say bi anaja omu tu ho anamo. But there is something that me feel say at the end of it all no, it should be at the center for discussion, and that has to do with human welfare. In fact, amamre ni amanie ne de kunyina no efe na nika nanso so me sure say there is nobody who will love to carry out Sadiana won't pay attention to human welfare, because any penti in a said yedi. So ekobane say it drew baby na umwa some way somehow omu take part and na say uma bakwa omu behwe bie no say nkakawa bi nesa security concerns be issue make me feel say we need to pay attention to it. I listened to that press conference Kofi ne Nana Itruba no. Now there was one king me kind din Nana Mfanchame or can say sa gunpowder no so the Gary particles Gary keke efra now fire it tends to be something different. And see, said the king, and some considerations I would say common. I think we something needs to be done.
And even not to cut you short, the mechanism say Oshe the Ecosia. Now, the infant be a Namia Adomah next year. Now Adomah hene, because culture I'm saying you didn't at any time. Said the way I say we are come for your acquisition, you are the Kessie, Yenianum a year before almost will be a hobechacho and can for homo any other. Now, oh, yeah, in some training, now I brought invitation. Say, Rebecca cover this activity. On there, such an invitation, honoring such an invitation, you will have to think about it too. Because the discussion that the discussions that have taken the center stage at the post, cultural event Adomah, and among for more blaming nananom more Adomah nananom so more Adomah any manfo bi more Adomah almost counter accusations. Any other day, if you are buy about 300 million, or 30,000 Ghana cedis, 30,000 Ghana cedis in the ground, you transferred it into your account. You didn't have the two account to now also you can go to or APSA account to me, they are to GCB account to any other didn't yes, I name any amount. And I will buy it is more or less like say at the end of the day, see a tioka. It said you say what prayer a dear beam now will be any other day. The next time we invite you be around Oma TV Oma radio Oma even a man phone crampon or more crown will be very careful attending such events. And the one we are going for then the beauty of the event no more who dear domano. In the next celebration beam, say nipa 100 and a coy, would emphasize nipa 1,000 and I attend the event for last year now. This year one we are you will not get a 500 crowd because we answer hey, men are men baby 222 na yame amwa. Obi answer to number for Obi amame. and so between the buffalo say the new here said I now work about the welfare of the people. People now we show at the end of their children. Now Nipan Bebana at the end of the day, no, when yet the security and yet assure that. No so.
Okay, so in that instance, are you then suggesting, say, in the issue of Kofi DNA Kusi, I have problem where maybe I'll say, and then because of social media, and will be at me so camera na biano kasana nano etra na nomni adie. For me, I'm totally against that because the incident is see, and anafa shasi ne kusiye, but he may probably have no idea of what happened until say be a kobo na money. Based on the workers and anonymous crown security seminal, okay, be was here woman only a section of people saying say Urano crana need to need done a conwa or kotoya that unfortunate incident is see yano. Necrophobia address and was at this time no statement to free nanamwaba. Yeah, a nipan an identity. And I think I was set you just to make a point. So for all you know, Crano, for all you know, Crane, it be not like we're saying, will be na addresses or brain in and need you done a corner power, baby cran and animal. It be so if you fear. And see, when I'm go for by address and this time, then care what's say. To help matters of security, to provide some sort of assurance to people, say everything is under control. This is one of the unfortunate incidents I see. Now, so the identity of the shooter or ABC, this are updated. When somebody a building argument from that side, why what would you say about that?
Yeah, in America, say we was say nananum a tighten security because nka Kofi is right now there should have been an arrest.
Yeah,
we should have been made to be aware. Say yes, there is an arrest made. Yachini pasumesi and answer yachi obinting. Inti na America say yemfa your security situation. Seriously, yeah, but them say security no.
No, you know what you are saying. What you are saying. I mean, say a basis so because our coach and some are can. Yeah, it you toward the idea. If somebody goes there with one you. Now what shall say shoot you randomly? I'm telling you, by the time you realize say it you now at 20 and anomaly any bino. No, could be per 100. You know why? Because say it you to power no. Security wise no. When you're conscious say it will be to an anomaly any beer.
Exactly.
To a woman because an animal to shoot you. And this will be time need the afraid children no ban or shooting spree. Said the cost of maybe so no shots is so spray rambo. Ta 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 ta. Obekumbebre and Sanya will say tune in your bravo the Nibia. So what you are saying, I mean, it is in line.
Yeah. It is in line. In security situations, no. In some of these events, no, I will say, you tighten, no.
Yeah.
Obako baby, maybe a whole school, program, program, Cassia pa, or hobby, students, a share stadium, or your program, or be a cadet for school for an cadet for no more colleagues now, and no mass security. The Democratic shut that for cadet and tied any bishop or brow, uncle school be no habit. Into some of these issues, no, I will say. Every gathering there should be the presence of the police, heavy police presence. And a gathering like a cultural event, obia kwakohwe bi yakohwe amamre se de ne fe esitie anyway se ni ade ade no ma yemfa ne so ye ne aye ho enti no normal saa keke se at first se security de bi 10 na mu use at this time no ye abonefo se na doso enti ye use security ne be 100 to cover baby no money can check it places no baby because you am sure going forward no etina bi no one we abon one say bomb and will be better time the action of party about event and I say you go so arena no when you bounce with it no when I blast baby obia team obia what is the making nothing
you are right right.
Some of these things na na yesro mo omo emi hunu e kwan e be fa so e be modify some of these sporadic shooting. Oh, no, we have to need your no, we have to need your said they need to papa, they need to papa. They were sanctioned by the by Nananum, the one you sanctioned, the over frame, the frame, and some of these issues, incidents, no, it do have bones a man for the do no mukuta tune, or my pinty woman. So it is very difficult, and to some extent, the democracy is a mask. It is very difficult to ascertain who actually did A or B.
Yes, you are right. Even if you suspect, even so, who will be crying out suspect? Yeah, what can name? So how do you even
exactly
say we in Canada no more or no na be frame? The costume which they put on is not something extraordinary.
Yeah,
but you have a costume na no one so up and be the eye no now what the charcoal laughing in him no aba.
Yeah,
and yeah, you're right. You're right. And you know, we're going to run up in a minute.
Yeah.
Israel and Hamas and Sensemano. I mean, it took something like that. A group of people, Israelites, I know more baby, a festival, Umuji money, and a Hamas take advantage. And now, said you could be here, and you honey becano.
Yeah.
It's like you said. We need to Nananom, you know, with the greatest respect to Nananom, and they've found a better way of communicating to the ancestors, which goes a long way to benefit us directly or indirectly. They found a better way to develop over the years, and they found a better way to sustain the core of the cultural celebration. From ages till now, they are able to tell you as if they were there to see what happened.
Exactly.
And that is brilliant. But Sanuma we so na AC no. Sabi obi nye nipa nche obi. Ebi ebeka so ebi asisi dada de yanka ho asem. The point is toda enuma bi sisi edru baabi a we should be able to tell ourselves as people say no, enough is enough. We can't continue to allow this to happen. And so A, B, C, D is what we need to do. I see Kofi Adomah as a warrior. I see him as a warrior. Say, Oshe situation now, woman in a press conference. Well, people disagree. So, who can't what then? I'll be a press conference and Nana. You know, people have their disagreement. But end of the day, we are talking about human life.
Yeah.
Standing kwekwana, menya sure say, nko be pese obeba betena se. Na dressing cry yidi be hia no. Dressing no cry ka bibi skra sa achiro because kokko ni tuntum di. Se nka yie ne de ye.
Exactly.
But when he got out, was saying nke betimi abase nipa we hey. Me yie ase no mo hia, me yie no mo.
Yeah, what cancer?
Yes, and that really
that could have been his funeral.
Yes. Because apart from say no no te ho no, dressing no mo de to any everything yie and would be PM. And no can be betrayed. Say no, this is the mark of a true warrior. He has really lived his mark, and I don't think say Kofi needs trending on this issue. Who else doesn't know Kofi Adomah and the kind of things he stands for? And see, I think say we need to pay attention to these issues. Probably end it, and it be a Kofi comedy and a bit me lead to say maybe a drone enough is enough. Before I let you go, your final words.
Okay, my final words is Yajatum say I'm ready. It has been handed off from generation to generation, and the next generation, even the 10th generation, they will still come and preserve young culture. No, culture we know say it is something that is dynamic. Idea bit to me, and so when we realize that some parts of our culture is having a problem or is causing problems for people, then we should be, as a matter of agency, know that the fact that culture is dynamic, we can make some modification going forward. Modify, not necessarily we are changing the thing in its entirety, but we are changing it to suit the current generation. Said over the period, human sacrifice, as we are told, say now to appease the sense of the people using human sacrifice. Even in the Bible, now we are told say there were human sacrifices even in the Bible. But Christopher bɛka sɛ Yesu mogya no aba bɛpepa saa nneɛma no nyinaa nti yɛkɔ yɛ anim no nso no ɛwɔ sɛ yɛamammerɛ no nso nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ a yɛsakyerɛ mu kakra na ɛbɛtumi ayɛ. Thirdly, the what's your when we have a gathering as a people, it shouldn't be a cultural event in say school gathering. Bring out a lot of people from different or from diverse background. There should be a heavy presence of the security. We should take our security situations seriously as a nation because the security situations beefed up at these events or at some of these events now. And then betimi aboa ama yenso ye betimi nya yasumdue and in attempt to preserve your culture no de bia no nipa benya the love see e beko ne akwa akwohwe bi ne yenso yenya bi aka e de akire nchirima na wo beko na ye tutututu na tu aka obi ana se tu akọbọ obi ani ana tu akokum obi ani ade a then the following year over fresh gathering no one we wunya nkofo bia emomoma woni beba won so na nana ne mpanimfo ko a enete wo ena bia nana na busuafo ho anete wo but omanfo na nkasa na mo de beauty ni bi beka ho ama ade na mu ahye nyam no why because we feel say the life is not secure as said gatherings into just baba yara for kotokone nsu atre say on the stadium situation number na so at first gwa nipa dodo say na eko but akani si ye akiri no amanfo bebre enhu so mo ye de omoko so enti mo me face yenye proactive than say ye be reactive e tan na asem ni si ansa na ye finally Kofi Adomah ye man shedding na ye bompa ye de man say nyame mmoa no na on regain the site because any there any obi aka ne ye hu say bi mo social media app no so a omo kansen bebre efa no ho ebi mo kansen bebre gu no nimu asese ne nyame na atua ne ka ne ade ewi ase ayete no nyame ntua obi aka o table no can turn at any time. It can be you tomorrow. Enti se ono kan wo say ono na asem say ato no as a media person but onim say chena bi no e bia ne ba ye wo obi a asem we ebetima to obi a let's take it
in fact let me quote him or say contractor na oyi kwan no kwan no onyai onimwie
ogusumwie ono na da so
yes and then aka ne dan a e bia chena be ye wo dan
enti ma yenye ne say obi hu akire no na ho na enigi aba obi esere obi ani abra wa so o sere no e na say ebi mu some people have even started claiming say omaye ne sa you share na you be also you confused then also ono na aye ne sa obi asofo obi say omaye ne sa obi say ni adade ne ho kroma yemfa ne say accident can happen at any time say the car accident is here e mo nka ye no sa ena eno so etie tinyame nka Kofi ho na yere nso nyame ma na kokodu na ontumi mfanta no ho na bibia ntumi yinim say Kofi Adomah will regain his sight and get back stronger baba ye na dwuma to help humanity say de na oboa na because na dwuma bibia wa ye no wa ya aboa ama aboa nipa bibire nso.
All right. Thank you, Oji. I fully appreciate your time, and I cannot thank you enough. You just amazing personality, and the people love what you do.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
thank you. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to engage with you on your channel, Explore with Pascal, and I also follow up to the comment section to see what people are talking about, their views on some of them, and to some extent, I even go further to engage some of them on some of these things, both on Facebook and on YouTube, and even on WhatsApp to further give explanation to people in order for them to be aware of the happenings of the world and how they can also take cues from some of these developments in order to be extra careful in life.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Until I see you again, take care of yourself.